Hey, what's up, everybody? I am Jay Hollingshed. I am back and we are live once again. Thank you so much for tuning in. I truly appreciate your patience with me on today. Today is Mother's Day, so my wife and I, we went out and did a little celebrating, and I appreciate you all waiting up for me for this video. And for those of you watching this on repeat, I thank you and appreciate you as well. And if you want to watch this video in its entirety, feel free to go to my YouTube channel. All of my videos are backlogged on YouTube according to the day for this series, my 7 pillars of mental performance. And speaking of the day, today is Sunday, day 1 of the week, in which we will be discussing pillar number 1, awareness and mindfulness. And as I stated earlier, this is my 7 pillars of mental performance in 365 days. This is episode 134 of 365. Now, my brother's already tuned in. I appreciate you for tuning in, bro. Arthur Hollingshed on his front row seat as usual. Now, let's get right into the meat of the awareness and mindfulness. I know it's late in the hour and I won't keep you long. Now, starting off, I was that kid. I was always that kid that I would go out to like my great grandparents' house out in Starksville, Mississippi, and there was like this small pond or whatever, like not a lake, but a small pond. And, you know, my cousins and I, we would throw and skip rocks, right? Instead of, skipping the rocks, I was that one kid that liked to just throw it real high up in the air and then just hear it plunge into the water, like bloop, that big plunge into the water, and watch the ripple effects just go spreading out. And the ripples go spreading out again and spreading out again. And I never grew out of that. As I got older and older, I found myself, living in Memphis, of course. We were go down to the Mississippi River or whatever, and I would take a rock and just throw it out. I would hurl that son of a gun as far as I could and hear it just plop right in the water. And I would look to see the ripple effects. I would love to see the ripple effects go out. And I would try small rocks, big rocks, just to kind of experiment to see what would happen with the ripple effects. That always amazed me. And I realized that the different ripple effects were from the different size rocks. And each time I threw a rock into the pond, the ripple effects it affected the whole pond. And the pond was affected in different ways. It was affected by the size of the rock that I threw, or how hard the rock landed, how high I threw it up, and or the depth of the ripples, how far the ripples extended. All of these things came into play. Also, even things that I didn't get a chance to see, but I thought about as I got older. If I throw a big rock into a pond, of course it's going to make ripples, but when it rests on the bottom of it, in the bottom of the pond, how will it affect the flow of the water that's coming through? Will it stop the flow, or either just cause it water to go around it? So those are the things that were going through my mind. Now, how does this relate to awareness and mindfulness? Let me tie it in. First of all, the definition I'm using for awareness and mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of going within. You are closing out all the any external. You're closing your 5 senses to everything in the outside world, and you are going within, exploring who you are on the inside. When you practice mindfulness, you gain awareness. So practicing mindfulness actually gives you an awareness. So you practice mindfulness for awareness, and awareness is actually being cognizant of circumstances that are unfolding around you while you yourself are part of an unfolding circumstance. Now, I talked about throwing a rock in the pond. Now check this out. Today is Mother's Day, right? And I'm sure there were plenty of family gatherings. You had your big family, everybody over for dinner or what have you. And there are probably still some going on right now. But let's liken that let's tie these two stories together, the family gathering and the throwing the rock into the pond. Now, the family gathering, the big event, all the family. I'm looking at that. I see that as the big pond or the big lake. And the rock that is thrown in the lake. Who is the rock? Is that you? Are you the one that's being thrown into the lake and causing the ripple effects? If so, what kind of ripple effects are you causing? Now, let's look back at the pond or the family event. Now, when you have a big family or family event and a family gathering, there are many things going on from an awareness and mindfulness perspective. You have a lot of unfolding circumstances. I'm taking that straight from the definition I'm using for mindfulness. So you have a lot of unfolding circumstances in a family gathering. You have a lot of exchange going on. You have a lot of cause and effect. And I say unfolding circumstances or things going on. You have people starting different tasks and ending different tasks. People starting sentences and finishing sentences. People actually starting actions and finishing actions. These are things that are happening around you, the circumstances that are happening around you in this family event while you yourself are part of this family event. Thus the definition of awareness being that you are aware of the unfolding events around you as you yourself are part of an unfolding event. Now, let's say, well, I'm asking now, can you identify who the rock is in the pond? Is that rock you, or is that rock another family member? Is that rock, if you are the rock, let's take it back to the earlier parts. If you are the rock, how much of a ripple effect are you having on your family and the events unfolding around you at the family event? Your presence, just from you being there, are you aware of how your presence is affecting the family event? Are you there, you being there, how is that affecting everyone around you? How are they interacting with you? How are you interacting with them? There are always family members that don't get along or they try to avoid each other from certain circumstances, friction going on. But if your presence is there, how are you being affected and how are you affecting the family event? Now, if you are the rock, you're causing the ripples. The ripples can be good, the ripples can be bad, but you have to be aware of your role in the position you are in, your role as that rock. If you are that rock, have you actually sat back to consider how you are affecting everybody or how everybody is affecting you? Even if you are not the rock, if someone else is the rock and are you a part of the lake? Are you a part of just a family gathering and you are being affected by the rock? So if that rock is being thrown in, how is that affecting you? Are you aware of how it's affecting you? Is it changing you? Is it changing the way you act? Is it changing the way you talk to people? Is it causing you to walk on eggshells or tiptoe around certain conversations or tiptoe around certain people? This is the awareness and mindfulness that I'm discussing, that I'm talking about, that you can have just from, this is the awareness that you have just from practicing mindfulness. Now, to notice all of these unfolding events around you, you have to practice mindfulness on a daily basis. And that has to be on a level of consistency, like I said, day after day after day. It's not just an instant overnight thing. Now, when you do practice mindfulness and you gain that awareness, you are able to step back. It's kind of like having an out-of-body experience. You see the things going on around. You hear many conversations going on around you all at once. You kind of keying in to hear what they're talking about, what somebody else is talking about behind you. You know what's going on. Now, in the midst of all this big family event, you have a lot of opportunities. You have a lot of circumstances, and circumstances bring opportunities. So if you have been practicing mindfulness to gain a keen and high awareness, you are aware of not only the unfolding events around you, but you are aware of the circumstances that these events are attached to and the opportunities that are popping up as these circumstances unfold. What are you doing with your opportunities? Are you taking advantage of those? Are you taking advantage of the circumstances that are around you? Are you negatively or positively affecting the circumstances or affecting the family? If you are the rock, How are your ripples affecting the family? Is it good? Is it bad? How are you affecting yourself? Do you realize the effect that you are having on yourself? If you are affecting your family in a negative way or a negative point of view, then you are constantly practicing that negative way. You have a negative mindset. And the more you practice that negative mindset, you're making it hard for you to become a positive person. So in other words, don't put out anything you don't want to get back. We reciprocate everything that we put out, and that's the energy. So if you watch when you throw a rock into a pond and the ripples go out, if you notice, they come back. So the energies you put out into your family, the energies you put out into your family event, like Mother's Day, if you were that positive rock and you were positively affecting your family, then you got those positive vibes to come back to you. That's what I'm talking about, the opportunities. If you see the opportunities unfolding around you, an opportunity for you to be positive, you put those out there. They're going to come back to you. That's why I asked the question, do you realize how you are affecting yourself? If you're putting it out there, it's coming back to you and you are affecting yourself. So that's all I have for today on awareness and mindfulness. You got to be aware. You've got to practice mindfulness to become more aware. Once you become more aware of who you are and your role, you will be better positioned to affect those around you in the way that they need to be affected. And before I go, practicing mindfulness, you gain more awareness from practicing mindfulness, as I said earlier. Also, it provides you with a level of certainty. Once you see in everything that you see and hear and feel everything that's going on around you, you've included your 5 senses in that. So you can feel, hear, see, touch, taste, and smell all of these circumstances that are going on around you, and they can benefit you in the way that you need to have them benefit you, and you can reciprocate those. You put out all of that and have that come back to you. So this has been episode 134, Awareness and Mindfulness. And this is my 7 pillars of mental performance in 365 days. I do want to say happy Mother's Day to everybody out there, all the mothers that are tuned in. I see my Aunt Sheena has tuned in. Happy Mother's Day to you. If I scroll down, wow, I don't know if a lot of you are mothers or not, but happy Mother's Day. I do appreciate everybody. Elder DeBow. Who else we got in here? We got Tiffany Bolton. Thank you for tuning in. Mario Webb Sr., thank you for tuning in. My brother AJ, Frank D, I appreciate you, Fred. God bless everybody for tuning in. Happy Mother's Day. Be well, stay blessed, and through love, be a blessing. God bless.